Welcome back to the Droppin' In Surf Show. My name is Rob Case. I'm a paddling technique coach located in Northern California. And today on the show, I'm excited to introduce you to Dario Matoso. And Dario is a surf coach based out of Canary Islands. And what's really interesting about him is that he has a PhD in biomechanics and has studied physical activity and sport. Like I said, he's from Canary Islands in Spain. But while living in Australia and in Indonesia since 2014, Dario has been learning how to improve his own surfing, as well as coaching surfers on how to improve theirs. He was spending some time in California and we linked up. So it just so happened that he was going to be in Northern California at the same time I was organizing a surf skate meetup. Now, I don't teach surf skate nor attempt to. I teach up through the pop-up and then I hand it off to much better surfers and coaches than I am at that. But I do like to get some of my paddling alumni together to build community and have some fun. Our meetups, both surf and surf skate, are usually pretty casual. We just kind of get together and have some fun with some great people. Dario joined us and took it to another level by taking us all through a part of his surf skate program. I was blown away. His attention to detail in both working with each of us and to specific movement was fantastic to experience and right up in my interest level. So I decided to grab my camera and microphones to have a quick sit down with him after the workshop. And like a non-professional podcaster, I didn't press record in the first part of the interview. So I'll fill you in on what we discussed here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see us talking, but I'm basically going to fill you in on what we talked about. So I first asked him how long he's been doing this. He said he started the surf skate program about 5 to 6 years ago by himself because he wanted to improve his own surfing. He says he used to surf skate and started to improve his surfing a lot. And so he took kind of his knowledge of movement and applied it to the surf skate. And then he started working with surfers. And he started with surfers that didn't really have access to the coast very easily, more of the landlocked surfers. And he helped skate with them, and then they'd go off and they'd surf. And then he'd do surf coaching with them as well at the beach. So that caught fire. More people were demanding it, more classes. And so that's what it has become today. He has an online surf skate program. He also coaches at the beach as well with individuals. One of the things that impacted me, I was writing down a whole bunch of stuff during the surf skate workshop that he did. One of the things that really impacted me was that I liked how he described the difference between body weight and pressure. And I just asked him to kind of expand on that. He always heard coaches talk about body weight, using it to put more pressure on the wave and on the board. And then he said when he used to surf skate, he realized there's a difference between the two. The pressure you give to the board and where your body weight is may be different. And then he expanded. He said, for example, on the re-entry, on the top of the wave, once you do the movement, your body weight is actually over your front leg. Because if not, you can't come back down the wave, right? You fall out the back of the wave. So even though the body weight is on the front foot, you're making all the pressure, and all the pressure is on the back foot and on the back leg. So I love that kind of distinction and actually the visual in my head, and then we did it on the surf skate, and it made perfect sense. The other technique he shared with us that impacted me that I liked was what he called following the X. And so I asked him, what did you mean by that, following the X? And here's where I noticed that my recorder wasn't on, and I decided to go ahead and turn it on because, why not?
So yeah, my understanding is try to make the surfer move the body in one piece, right? So I mean with this to move your body in a coordinated way to reproduce a maneuver or movement or the form in a accurate form. Okay, so a tennis player when hit the ball is not hitting with the hand or with your shoulder. I mean using the shoulder, obviously hitting with the rack, but you're using your whole body to reproduce the good technique to hit the ball. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is surfing is the same thing in my mind. I want you to move your body in a coordinated way, in coordination also with the wave. This is why surfing is so complicated, because it's kind of a chaos. It's a big chaos. Chaos is order in a crazy situation, right?
Yeah.
And this is what's happening in surfing. I mean, we have a crazy situation where the wave is moving. The wave is giving you some energy, sometimes different. The sections change as well, and you change. Your board sometimes is not the same. The things maybe are not the same, and you sometimes are more tired, and sometimes you are really good physically. So everything changes. It's a huge chaos, and I'm trying to work on this complex world to make you manage at this right time, right way. All right. So I use going back to the X. I found this way to explain make people reproduce this movement following this X, following these lines. And because it works with me, I know it's working with people because now I have the experience to work with so many people, and I always get surprised because I work with sometimes I work with people who are not that coordinated, and have not that skills or that ability. Even sometimes come to my classes people who they never got into the skateboard, and they just say like, I want to get into the skateboard because I never did it. Maybe some friends or some people who has maybe confidence with me. So they come, they feel good, and I explain to them how to distribute the body weight, the same thing we did today as the first day. So how to manage your body to stay in the right posture and avoid falls. Then I teach you how to move your body once you are on the board.
Yeah.
And this is what them surfers go to the water and reproduce it, and it's working pretty good. Everyone is so happy.
I loved, so two pieces that I absolutely loved. One was the simplicity of the movement. Like you can take somebody that has never skateboarded before and teach them that very simple, going low left, going high right if you're front side regular foot, right? And getting that, and you can immediately feel if you do it right and you do it slow. So the second thing I love is you do it slow, right? And if you don't get any speed out of it, you've totally done it wrong. Whereas, today we had some skaters. You can obviously see that they've skateboarded before, and you could see visible frustration. Like, no, I want to get some speed and then do it. And you're like, no. You'll do it right if you get a little bit of speed out of almost no speed. And so I thought that was the greatest litmus test on making sure your body moves the correct way in one piece, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you're doing it right. Because with surf skates, it's, I have a skateboard background, if you had skateboard backgrounds, you want to tap into what you know and what you're familiar with. But what you kept saying over and over is like, this is not skateboarding. We were training for surfing. Yeah. Right? Skateboarding is, that's fun. You go do that. But if you want to train for surfing, you have to do this movement. And that was a beautiful, way of explaining it and showing it, because everybody can do it. It was accessible to everybody. Yeah. And we all knew when we did it wrong. Yeah. We all knew no, I didn't do it right that time. I didn't get any drive, and I thought I loved the X. So the generating speed in the X was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I also, I'm cheating because I'm looking at my notes, but how you talk about speed's not as important as how you move your body. With many of the drills, it was like you go very slow. There were times where you need a little bit of a roll, but for the most part, you could, especially when you jumped on your skateboard and you showed us, we were all like, holy cow, look at how much speed he got out of that one little movement. So I think that's another thing that gets confused a lot, is it's easy to do a turn with speed, any way you want, whether it's a good turn or not, that's the difference, right? So if you have, like for myself, I know that I have a tendency to do a layback and I kill speed. It's not an actual layback. It's not what I'm supposed to do, but that's ingrained in my body, in my brain. So I need something to break me of that.
Yeah.
And so that's, I love that concept.
Cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I want to ask you a question. Why don't you use cones? Because you see, so you said you didn't see a lot of surf skates programs. Nowadays, there's more surf skates programs, and I have, you see cones with many of them. Why don't you use cones?
Because
You had a very simplified answer.
I know, because cones makes you go focus in the cones. My idea is the cones makes you focus in the cones, and I don't know you focus in the cones. I want you focus on your move, on your posture. Yeah. So I don't care if it's the cones, you cannot hit the cones. So you wanna focus on that.
Yeah.
If there is no cone, I don't care if you go over the mark I give you on the floor of the paint or something, because if you're doing the right pose, you're doing the exercise right, and this is what I understand. So
Yeah.
and
that was great. It gave us all flexibility to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about running over something. Like
Yeah.
you gave us, like you said, a mark on the ground so we could run it over, no problem.
Yeah.
But it gave us that freedom, and I was doing that drill over and over again, different ways. And like you said, get lower. And I was getting lower. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what that feels like. Yeah. And then the other thing I loved what you said, you were like, there's no cones in the ocean.
That's it. There's no cones in the ocean. So why we're also always training surfing though. So this is my understanding.
Yeah. As you noticed with some of the group, they're very analytical.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients are very analytical.
Yeah.
And we focus on certain things, and they want something objective, like, okay, well, where do I look next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very evident that you were trying to teach more, okay, well, make sure you do the body movement, because like you said earlier, it's chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You don't know what the wave's going to do, so you have to have the right body movement to react to the right situation.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're not teaching situational things, you're teaching the foundation of everything.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's the thing, the foundation, because most of the surfers learn surfing by themselves, so they miss all this part. And the things I want to say before is the same thing we're talking about now. So about the freedom you just talked, remember, no cons, so you have freedoms to make mistakes. Yeah. This is the thing, we are working on the limits. So I push you to your limits. Your nervous system is working at the highest level, because I don't care if you do mistakes. This is the idea. If you don't do mistakes, there is no progression. Yeah. So you gotta make mistake. Every move you do a mistake. If you don't do a mistake, I'm gonna push you for the next. And this is the progression. Yeah. This is how you go on the progression to the right movement you want to achieve,
Yeah. I loved how you were working with each one of us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're very active. You're like, no, right here. And you're like running beside us while you're like, get your hands up, and like that. It's just such dedication towards, like, I want to push you to that next thing. And everybody was all varying levels. Yeah. And I already saw, like, right off the bat, like movement, and we're like, whoa, like it was so funny when that one time we were like, oh my gosh, look at how different it is, and you can see it visibly. So
because you feel it, and also sometimes I do in the classes and I see people doing the movement, and I see myself doing the movement, standing up, like pushing with my head, with my nail, go further. Totally. So that's so funny for me as well. It is how I feel it. I don't know. It's cool.
That was very cool. And then another thing that you said that I really appreciated was, and this is something that I teach as well in a sense, is move in a way that is comfortable for you. So many of the questions were like, where should I put my hand? Where should I put my feet? Should I do it this way? And you were like, yeah. Like your answer was like, yeah. Move in a way that's comfortable to you. Is that something that you've learned through your studies, like with biomechanics, that everybody moves different, or where did that call come from?
Yeah, I don't know. It's my understanding. Of course, everyone is different. So everyone have different body restrictions. So I cannot push someone for a posture where they are not ready to go. So so many times people ask me questions, as you say, in the same exercise, they focus on different things. Some people maybe tell me, yeah, but the shoulder have to be like that, turn this way. And I say, yeah, it's okay. If you see it like that, if you feel it like that, it's fine, because it's about your restrictions. What your mind is telling you is about your body. It's not, I cannot tell you, yeah, your knee or your hip must be like that if you are feeling the tension in your shoulder, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what I see is the posture in general. I see from outside. I see your posture. And the posture is based in where is your body weight distribution on the board. So this is what I see. If you do this good, I don't care if your focus is in your shoulder, in your ear, or in your foot.
In your ear.
Yeah, that's it.
Totally.
You know. So look, in Spain we always talk about soccer, right? So
come on, let's call it football.
Okay, football.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. So whatever in football, I don't mind how you make a goal. You can do it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Some people complain about players who they don't run, but they maybe can make a goal for game.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of player I want. You know, if you wanna win, you're gonna make goal.
Right.
I don't care if you don't run. So this is happening. I bring this from this focus. You know, so we are training surfing, and I don't care if you focus on your shoulder or in your hair or anything. I focus on where your body weight distribution is on the board.
Yeah.
If you do it fine, your style is also fine.
Yeah.
Because the board works like that. You see, we have today, I don't know, maybe 10 or more people. They all different and they all work. And as I say at the beginning of the session, like all of you are gonna make something like you are not able to do right now, because the progression is pushing you to that level. So I see how people in very short time, like 1 month, for example, the progression is unbelievable, and the level of surfing just pushed so high because this kind of exercise, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier, with everyone making their own movements and not worrying about how all the extracurricular movements are. You know you'll do it wrong if you don't get what you want out of it. So it's like, stop doing it that way, right?
That's
or
it, because
continue, right?
Sure, because it's about the feeling.
Yeah.
You just say, you know you're doing it wrong, but why you know? If I just explained you like 2 minutes ago, you know because you're feeling it.
Yeah, you feel
and
it.
This is the thing. You feel if you are doing with flow, with harmony, if you are creating speed, or if not. So because you're feeling, you know if you're doing it good or not. I just explained you where your body weight must be and how you should move. After this, it's all on you. And if I see you already got the movement, I push you for the next. And this is how the nervous system is getting stimulated to work in the progression to achieve the level of a better level. You know?
Yeah, it's a good marriage between being analytical with the movement, but also being more kinesthetic with what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Right? Because surfing, you know, that's why pros could never really explain what they do, because it's mostly all feeling to them. And so it's I know a lot of my clients and a lot of the listeners are more analytical in nature, and so this is I think you can't be in too much of one camp when you're learning. You know, you need a little bit of both. That's a beautiful thing. So where do you see all this going? Like for you have the online training, right?
Yeah.
And then you do in-person workshops.
Yeah.
What's your vision? Like, what do you do? You work with people in the water as well?
Yeah. Well, my vision is surf training must be oriented in surf skate, physical, and surf coaching in the water, as I call it. Surf coaching is like kind of the water part where I do like video analysis and all these things on the beach, right? But yeah, I mean, this is the three ways I see the training for surfers, because you know some people don't like to do exercise, they prefer do surf skate. Some people just like go to the water, and some people just get focused and wanna go for the whole set. So depending of everyone or every surfer, and also their time, their possibilities, everything, you know, family, kids. So the idea for me, surf skate is very important. As you see in 2 hours the progression is so good. So
It was awesome.
Increase a lot. So.
And even the workout side of it, my front leg was burning.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew when I did it right, and I knew when I did it wrong. You know, it just I was like, oh, I'm cheating. I'm doing more back. You know, but also I need to learn how to do switch now.
Yeah.
Because you showed us how you go switch.
Yeah.
And how good that movement was. Yeah. And I was like, well, I thought if I want it to be a workout, I got to do both sides now, right? Or else I'm going to be very lopsided.
Yeah.
But that, I think, was also proof in the movement that you're teaching that, hey, listen, if you can do it on actually both sides, switch and front side.
Everyone,
you know, front side, back side, switch, goofy, regular. Then you learn the movement.
Yeah.
And the feeling that goes along with it. So, that was beautiful, man.
Yeah, cool.
I'm stoked for it. So how do people get a hold of you? What's the website?
Yeah, I got my website at the moment. Is everything in Spanish. I got something in English in YouTube channel.
Okay, YouTube and Instagram.
In Instagram is more where more English speaker I talk to.
Cool, man. I'm stoked. Well, thanks for making the time and hanging out with us.
Thank you. It was actually a long time trying to find the moment to meet you, so I'm so happy also to be here.
I'm stoked. Well, now you get to go down and watch the finals.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there and see what's going on.
That's killer, man. Well, I hope you get some waves too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.